I don't know what
How
I'm
do you
saying.
stay committed to me?
Lots of sex.
Grayson!
What's up, guys?
Welcome back to my channel. Look who's here today.
So today, we're going to be talking about relationships. Right?
Okay, so I asked you guys on Instagram what you wanted to know about our relationship, and we got a lot of different questions. So it's basically what we're going to be doing today. I brought Grayson because I can't answer all of these questions by myself, so.
She's too scared.
Not true. Some of them you need to answer because they were asked to you.
Oh, really?
So.
Nah, she didn't even tell me that.
Well, like what do you love most about each other? I can't answer that for you.
I got you.
Okay, first question is, how old are y'all and where did you meet?
I'm 21.
And I'm 20.
And we met in Colorado at a missionary school.
Yeah.
Boom.
Cool. Do you think you will get a divorce?
No.
No.
Why are you laughing?
Because you're cute. No. But
She
you
was concerned it for a second.
That's
just
not
then.
true. No.
No, definitely not.
Okay. What do you love most about each other?
You hit me with this one.
I know.
Alright, you answer first.
No.
Well, you can't figure
What
it
do you
out.
love most about each other?
Can't even think of it.
You're very caring and encouraging. You laugh.
Because you don't even know.
No, I do. I love that you're always motivating and very encouraging, but you're also very caring and gentle with me. So it's a good balance.
The one thing I've always loved most is how... I'm trying to think of the word. Focused on others. You're very selfless. Very selfless. She doesn't really... I mean, it's a bad thing too. Because she doesn't think of herself as much as she should, but she's always thinking about other people, so...
You're cute. Okay. Next question. When will you have kids? We both want kids. I feel like if something were to happen, we'd be totally fine.
Oh, yeah. If something were to happen.
What do you quote? What are you quoting?
It's funny. It's funny.
Okay.
Yeah, so what is it, when? Does it say
says,
when?
yeah, when will you have kids?
We don't really know necessarily when. Within the next 5 years. It was a broad spectrum, but...
Definitely not after that. Sorry. Definitely not more than
Within
that.
5 years.
Yeah. Okay. When y'all married, was the chemistry there? Did you find it? Is that even a thing?
Oh yeah, we definitely had chemistry. Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Oh yeah, it's definitely a thing.
For sure.
Definitely a thing.
How do you manage being from different cultures?
You answer first.
Like, for example, it was very different for me. Like, for one, I never spoke Spanish around your family, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
I felt like I was forgetting how to speak Spanish when I lived in Arkansas. You guys come from a big family, so it's also very different.
Yeah.
For me, the way you guys cook for so many more people. Certain, like, traditions and stuff that you guys do.
It's true.
I don't know.
Fair.
It's not, like, hard. I've enjoyed it for the most part because, like, it's nice to, like, experience it. But it is hard because then you, like, miss, you know.
Where you're from.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, being here with her family, they're a lot louder than my family. Like parties and everything like that. It's like music's just like right there all night. Their parties go till like 4 in the morning, where ours don't go that long most of the time.
You guys don't really have parties.
Whoa. We have
I'm
parties.
sorry.
Yeah, you are. Anyway, as I was saying, everyone speaks Spanish here. There's no English these days around here. So I guess like she said she was forgetting Spanish. I haven't really forgotten English. I just don't speak Spanish. No, it's been fun. I really like the Spanish culture. Latin, Colombian culture.
Nice.
Yeah, it's fun. It's definitely a very fun culture.
Hey, who cooks? Grayson cooks. I've tried to cook and I'm still learning. I don't cook the best. I get good at one thing if I'm doing it over and over again.
It's true.
But
For the most part,
Grayson cooks.
all the food.
Who wears the pants in the relationship?
Who?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really know either. I mean, me, really. But
I don't know about me.
we just don't really care.
Yeah.
Either of us. If she really wants to do something, wants something done, then that's going to happen. But if I really want the same thing, if I want something done, then it's going to happen too. So it's just, we're both good at
taking the other into consideration.
Yeah.
So, I don't think anyone necessarily. I agree. I think for the most part, Grayson. But
just more because I make decisions than she doesn't.
Because I'm very indecisive. But like for the most part, like I said, I think we're pretty considerate and.
Yeah.
Also, like, if he makes a decision, I think we're both at a place where like we can trust each other to where like if we don't get the chance to include the other person in the decision, we're still okay with.
Yeah.
What pet peeves do you have of me?
Well, one, she leaves hair all over the shower all the time.
It's not my fault.
And she doesn't even clean it up.
Okay.
Just everywhere. She leaves her clothes all over the floor. And she doesn't like cleaning up after herself.
It's not true.
After she eats.
That's you! You never put away your dishes. I always have to put them away for you.
I wash them.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
It's so false.
So that's one. What about me? My jokes.
Your jokes are cute. Laundry's never put away. It'll take forever for laundry to be put away, even after it's cleaned.
That's fair.
How long were you and your hubby dating for?
3 or 4 months.
Like 3 or 4 months. 3 or 4 months unofficially, probably a month officially.
Yeah. But we knew each other for
a while before
about
that. 6, 7 months.
8 months.
Oh, yeah.
Before we got engaged.
Who is the tallest? Grayson. You're 5'9".
5'9".
5'9".
5'10" on a good day.
I'm 5'3", 5'4". So. Where did you get married?
Arkansas.
We got married actually at his parents' house.
Yeah.
It's a nice place. How long have you guys been together?
Like married?
Sure. This upcoming February, 2 years.
So it's about a year and 5 months right now.
Oh, that was right though.
Yeah.
Okay.
February is like 7, 8 months away.
It's just easier. How do you guys deal with arguments?
You know, we're getting better.
Yeah.
Much better.
What used to happen in the past was I would shut down and not talk. and Grayson would get really mad.
Yeah, because I try to have a conversation with her, and we wouldn't really be arguing. It'd just be like trying to talk through stuff, and then she'd just shut down, and then it'd be like she wouldn't say anything for like 30 minutes to an hour, and I'd just be like so freaking pissed.
White chicks over here.
And it got so I'd get really mad. I would.
Yeah.
Just because she wouldn't say anything, and I'd be like come on, let's talk. And I'd be really nice at first, and then it just escalated.
Yeah. I feel like because Grayson's more of the like, okay, let's talk about it right now and get it over with, and I'm more about like, okay, I need to like think and process before I have a conversation.
Or if we're arguing at night, she's like, let me just go to bed and forget about it.
Yeah.
But we're
we've
getting
gotten better. Yeah. I'm learning to talk through things a little more, and he's learning to be a little more patient and wait.
Yeah. So that's how it goes.
It's definitely a process. I wouldn't say we argue a whole bunch, though.
No, we don't really.
As it is, so.
We agree on most things.
Yeah.
So that's good.
When did you know you were meant to be?
The moment I saw her.
Why do you laugh?
I don't know.
You're cute.
What about you?
I don't know. I think for me it was a little more of a process. I wanted to get to know him and stuff first.
Always good.
But after that, like after he asked me if we wanted to like date, I told him that I wanted to take some time to think about it because I knew that if I dated him, I was going to marry him. So.
Wow. See, I didn't even know that. She just still dropped things on me.
So yeah. If you guys hear someone mowing the lawn, it's because someone's mowing the lawn. And it's getting louder.
It's coming back.
Oh, man.
Alright, let's just go. Let's talk louder.
Alright, so the next question is, how do you stay happy and committed to each other for so long? Plus, y'all are so cute. Thank you.
Okay, so first, we haven't been together that long. It's only been 2 years.
Yeah.
What would you say? I know what I would say, but what would you say?
Oh, okay. Well, for one, we haven't been together that long, but I think for one, we both have the mindset that, like, okay, like, we committed to each other, we, like, agreed that we were gonna get married, like, divorce isn't an option. So for one, like, that being in the picture kind of helps not even having, like, thoughts about, like, what would it, like, be if we weren't together cross our mind. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I'm still in the honeymoon phase.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
How do I stay committed to you?
Yeah.
You're great, Chica. I don't know. I don't have to try and stay committed to you. It's just happens. That was a really bad
That
answer.
doesn't really answer the question. Okay, I think the biggest thing is, like, when you get in a relationship, like, obviously, you don't want to waste the other person's time. You don't want to be wasting your time. So, like, communicating and making it clear where you see things going. And then, like, understanding that, like, you know, if you're married, you're choosing to commit your life to this person. So, like...
There's not an option to separate or... get a divorce or something like that. Like, that's not even an option for us. So having those thoughts on our minds of doubt or like separation, I don't even know. I mean, because once you start having those thoughts, you think about all the other relationships you've had or different things. You're like, oh, this would be so much better, like when you're arguing and stuff like that. But once you're married, you got to realize that you committed and you made that commitment to each other.
Yeah. That
throughout everything that happens, you guys are going to stay together.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And I think also, like, what helps with, like, staying committed. I mean, for one, like, if you guys have, like, date nights or, like, kind gestures to one another, or if you're, like, speaking words of encouragement, like, that helps to, like, grow the relationship. So, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure you stay focused on each other.
Yeah.
You know, and keep pursuing each other. That's the biggest thing.
Do y'all believe in abstinence?
Yes. Yes, we do. Well, first, if you don't want to get pregnant, abstinence is the best thing.
Go.
Best thing for you.
100% guaranteed.
If you're not married and you're still trying to pursue that godly relationship, then yes, abstinence is the way to go. I mean, we believe, just because that's what we believe, that if you're not married, then you shouldn't really be having sex just because it's the best thing for you. So yeah, we do. What do you got?
Yeah. Yeah, basically, like he said, like, sex is something that's meant to be done between, like, a man and a woman when they're married. Like, for you to do and share with one another. So, obviously, it's not something that should be done outside of marriage. So, like, we both waited until we were married to do anything. And it's not to say that, like, that process of waiting is easy or fun in any way.
Because it's not.
I mean, it's like hard, but it's worth it, and it's just one of those things that, like, if you really, really think about it, like, it's a really intimate thing, so, like, why would you want to be, like, just doing it with whoever, you know? So, yes, it's a process, you know, like, you'll get through it, it's possible to wait.
It is. It is.
It's totally doable.
Most people say it's not.
But at the end of the day, it is, so... How's life and how does it feel to be married at such a young age?
Life's good. It feels good to be married.
Yeah.
Everyone looks at us strange. Everyone calls her my girlfriend.
Yeah, the thing is... Okay,
because they can't understand that we're married.
Yeah. Whenever we,
even though I tell them... Sorry. Continue. Even when we tell people and we're like, oh... They're like, oh, like, or like I have like some coworkers and they're like, oh, I watched your girlfriend's YouTube, and I'm like, you mean my wife? And they're like, yeah.
But then they still call me his
and
girlfriend.
The next day, happens again.
Yeah.
And again. So they're probably watching this right now. So there you go, guys.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun for the most part. Like any other thing in life, like we're still adults, we still have responsibilities and stuff. So like we're still doing life.
Yeah. It's just more fun to do together.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know what it's like to be married when you're not young, so I don't really know how to like compare it to something else. But I think for the most part it's fun. I wonder if it'd be very different like if we were married when we were older. Like
if we got married when we were older.
Yeah, how would that look like? You know?
I don't know, man. I definitely feel like us being married at a young age helped us focus a lot more on what we wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And helped us get our sights on like a vision of where we wanted to see our life going. Mm-hmm. Together compared to what we wanted to do alone. Because if I don't know where I would be if I wasn't with her right now. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
But I probably wouldn't be trying to like start these businesses that I'm trying to do and do all this stuff. If I wasn't married, I'd probably just be living my life doing whatever I wanted.
Yeah.
You know? So it's definitely helped us focus a lot more on that. Mm-hmm. And trying to build a life together.
Yeah. What's the best thing about getting married?
You want me to answer first?
Sure.
I mean, apart from all the small things, you know, like going to bed, waking up.
That's my answer.
Apart from all those things, which are great, you know, I think sex is pretty good too. You know? It's probably up there on the top list of best things about marriage. You know? All day, whenever. Fun stuff.
The best thing about being married, there's so many things. Okay? Like, you know, as you can imagine, like, we went from not getting to go to bed together to getting to go to bed together. Getting to do life together and, like, you know, having little sleepovers and... Why are you laughing?
Every night, yeah.
It's fun.
It is fun.
Stuff like that's fun, you know? Or, like, I don't know, just like...
Watching Netflix together
Yeah.
compared to alone.
Wow. Yeah, or like, you know, you get to do life together and you get to like envision things together and plan stuff.
Yeah, that's great.
This isn't the only reason we got married, okay? But like, obviously, once you're married, you get to have sex, so...
It is true. Someone asked us if we've had sex. Yes.
Or married. At what point did you or him start putting effort, and how did y'all fix it?
Oh, I get it now. Mm-hmm. At one point did you guys stop putting in effort?
Yeah. I would say that what I feel like tends to happen, which shouldn't happen, is like because you're married and you're doing life together as opposed to when you're like just boyfriend and girlfriend and you're not seeing each other as often. Like when you're married, I feel like you don't think that you need to go on dates as often as you would when you're dating. Or like, I don't know. I remember like when we first started dating and like we've texted each other, like our messages were a lot more like, oh my god, like I love you, like you know what I mean? As opposed to like now that we're married, like, hey babe, can you cook some food for me, or like you know, like
we don't text at all.
Yeah, we don't really text. So like things definitely shift when you're married. And it's not a bad thing because like obviously, you know, you're in a different season and you get to do different things. Like I know there was one point in our marriage where we were like, okay, we need to prioritize going on dates more, so we would like have a select date every week where we would go on a date. Mm-hmm. And that was always fun because like we would get out of the house and stuff. I would say I feel like it's common to kind of lose effort in that sense.
Yeah, it is. So when you're dating, you go and you see this person, you might even see them every day, but you still have that time at night or during the day that you get by yourself to relax, be alone, be away from this person, you know, which is good. So when you get married, you're with this person 24/7. You know, you go to work, come home, they're there, and they're going to be there all night, you know. So you don't really have that time away by yourself. And it's more difficult, I say, to feel that and try and pursue because you're always with them. So you feel like you don't have to really do much, you know, because this person's going to be there. And you don't really try to put in as much effort because that person's always there, compared to when you're dating, you're trying to plan stuff to go be with each other and to go see each other.
Yeah. I will say, however, like, even though, like, whether you're dating or you're married, especially once you're married, like, you should still work towards, like, pursuing each other because, like, because you're with this person 24/7, it kind of becomes, like, a habit sometimes. And so you need to, like, put in that effort and remind yourselves, like, okay, we got married, like, we love each other, we want to pursue each other. So definitely put in that effort.
I'd say also try and do more stuff.
Yeah.
You know, because it's really easy just to relax, watch Netflix, watch a movie, chill at home.
Which is nice to have on occasion.
Which is nice, but you should still try and get out and go see the world, go experience it together, because it's a lot easier and a lot more comfortable. And especially if you're working a lot, to just chill at home and not do anything, but then you realize that your whole life is wasting away.
Yeah. Okay. Alright, this next one is, how are your parents so supportive of marriage at a young age, and any advice?
Fair enough. I mean, my parents are they don't really care about what age you are if you want to get married necessarily. They're more like maturity-wise. They saw that I was mature and that she was mature. To them, age isn't really a number, I guess. Age isn't a huge issue for them. It's more of the maturity.
Yeah, like when I met his family, they sat us down and like asked us a bunch of questions of like what we wanted to do in life, where we saw this going, like just the whole what is it, the whole ordeal?
The whole shebang.
Yeah. Anyway, um, but yeah, basically, yeah, they don't care about age, so, and they're also not like full on like having a long engagement either. So like to be honest, once they knew that we were serious about what we wanted, like they were fully on board with everything. And then my parents, it was very different for them because I actually talk about this in one of my videos of like our proposal story, so I'll link that down below for you guys to check out. But basically, Grayson was my first boyfriend, so to go from like barely even dating to getting engaged was obviously like what happened.
They were very confused.
Yeah, so they were very confused. And then also, my family's not the one that's like, let's have a quick engagement. They're more like, date for a really long time to see where this is going, and then think about getting married. So for them, it took a lot more like convincing and a lot more talking through with them. And not because they didn't like Grayson or they didn't believe that like we were serious about things, but just like they just wanted to be extra cautious because they didn't really understand why everything was moving so fast. But yeah, I think for one, I think it's very important to have like both parents be supportive of your marriage because like I married Grayson and at the end of the day my marriage is just with Grayson, but at the end of the day his family is also now my family. So it's kind of like you want to have that good relationship with both of them. So the next question we're going to answer is how do you have a God-centered relationship? We're going to answer it in two parts. So if you're dating or if you're married. When Grayson and I were dating, I feel like it might be a little different from like other people just because we met in a missionary school and we were living under the same roof. And the environment that we were in was like solely focused on like growing in your relationship with God and doing missions. And so it's very different, I feel like, from a godly relationship that's like dating in just like an everyday environment.
Yeah. Because we got to see each other every day.
Yeah. So I feel like it's very different, but I think what we've learned from that was like for one, like it was good to be friends first and kind of like see where where his vision and his relationship with the Lord looked like, the way he interacted with like other friends or the way he encouraged other people in their faith, the way he prayed for people, just like things like that. Those are things that you want to look for because those are things that you want to be able to bring into your marriage. And so when you're dating, like obviously I think it's good to be in environments where you like go to church together, go to small group, Bible study, like all that stuff is good to like do together so that you can kind of see where the other person lies. When Grayson and I first started dating, we didn't pray together. We did see each other pray because
we were in that
environment. So we would like pray together in group settings, but we never prayed one-on-one. And it's one of those things that like it's just a very intimate thing and honestly only attracts you more to that person when you get to see how they pray and they like, interact with the Lord and stuff.
Yeah. And it doesn't seem like it's a huge issue.
Yeah.
I don't really think it is either, but it's just a smart thing to do if you want to. I mean,
I think almost limit temptation.
Yeah, honestly. No, for sure. It'll help you stay pure.
It's so weird because you'd think that like if you're like praying and stuff, like you'll be fine. But it's like, okay, for one, when you're dating, especially when you're engaged, it's already hard enough to like stay pure. And it's only because like you've grown in every area together except in the physical.
Yeah, it's true.
And it's not to say that like when you get married, the only reason you get married is to have sex, but it's like at the end of the day, it's still something that like was gifted to a man and a wife, and it's like a natural thing to feel.
Yeah.
And so many things like praying, like just only attracts you more to that person. So you just want to be like cautious and mindful of like where you're putting yourself. So I'd say that.
There's a book we would read that was written about a man and his wife, and he said that that's what they would do every time they would pray. They would always end up them just having sex afterwards.
Yeah.
Because it would like bring them so close together that they had to do something.
Yeah. So
that's one thing you could think about.
Yeah, so just be mindful about like things like that. Also when you're dating, like, you know, don't put yourself in situations where you're like alone all the time, or just things that you know will cause you to stumble. Definitely be like mindful and communicate with the other person, like where your boundaries are, set up boundaries.
For sure.
All of that stuff. I mean, it's totally fine if you guys like do devotionals together and like,
oh, yeah.
you know, still seek the Lord and like talk about God and your faith and whatnot.
Of course, yeah.
So I guess that kind of answers the dating portion.
I mean, I definitely say try and stay as pure as possible.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you're dating, because that's a huge issue now. Like more than ever, is that everyone is just having sex all the time, basically. You know, because it's so normal now.
Mm-hmm.
Even in the Christian community. So to have a godly centered relationship, I would say to not do that and try and stay as pure as possible with each other. To keep it God centered and not centered on each other.
Yeah, that's good. And then
For marriage,
um,
definitely try and pray together. Definitely try and get into a community of, like a church community, you know, get involved in a church. Because once you're married, it's going to be a lot harder for you guys to, I mean, it doesn't seem like it would be, to be a lot harder to stay in the Word and stay going to church and stay in that community. But because you're so focused on the marriage and each other, it kind of gets put aside, like the Bible and God, and you kind of focus on making sure the marriage is good, and then you kind of have God and the Bible and church as an afterthought.
Yeah.
So to keep it God-centered, really focus on getting involved in the church, involved in a community, like a community group or a Bible study or something like that.
Yeah. I would say too with like small groups and stuff, like obviously if you're married, it's totally cool to hang out with people who are dating. Like you can still learn a lot from them and they're like fun people to hang out with. But I think it's also super, super important to hang out with people who are married. Especially if you're doing like a small group or something, just because like at the end of the day, like if you're just dating, you're not gonna fully understand like what marriage is. And so when you get to like speak to other couples who are married, you get to like process things that they also know you're going through because they've been through it. So finding people who are in the same season as you, I think is pretty important to like be held accountable and stuff. But other than that, like, you know, once you're married, like, you know, pray together and whatnot.
Lots of sex. Helps. When before we got married, I took this couple aside that I just really looked up to, someone that I had grown up with a little bit, and they had gotten married a little bit before, and I took them aside and I was like, hey, like, what advice would you have for me before getting married? And the one thing they said, they were like, lots of sex, have lots of sex all the time, as much as you can. And I was like, what? They're like, yeah, all the time. All the time. And I was like, okay. So, we tried it, and it works.
Here's what I will say, and I want to like stress in this video. You don't get married just because you want to have sex, okay? And sex is not the only thing about marriage, and it's not the only thing that's going to keep a marriage going or the only thing that's going to fix a marriage.
That's one of the things too, is everyone always wants to like test drive the car before they get married, so to say. That's what everyone says. But it's like, basically that's meaning that they're just going to be getting married for that. Like, some people are like, but you don't know what you're getting into. Yeah. Like, the physical aspect is the only aspect of the marriage. which is why it's so important to be friends and grow with each other as friends without having sex as a part of that, because it's not the biggest issue.
Yeah. So yeah, like that's not the main thing of marriage, but like at the end of the day, it's one of those things that you really only do in marriage, so it's also a thing to consider. Alright guys, so that's basically it for today's video. We answered, I think, most of the questions, but I don't know if all of you got a chance to submit your questions. So if that's the case and you'd like to see a part 2, comment down below and let us know if you'd be interested in seeing a second part to this video. That's basically it. If you guys like this video, make sure and give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. I post a video every Wednesday and Friday.
That's it. Thanks for watching, guys.
Yep. Okay, bye.
We out.